We did that all right away in the first year instead of taking 4 years, and yet here I stand today before you, someone who as early as May or June of this year may face a recall election in the state of Wisconsin. Why is that? Why is that? Well, simply put, it's about the money. You see, the other thing I did that really has the big government union bosses upset is something that is fundamentally pro-worker, something that is essentially about freedom. I gave the nearly 300,000 public servants in my state, the good, decent men and women who work in our state and our local governments, the right to choose. I said to every one of our public employees, you no longer have to be forced to be in a public employee union. You get to choose whether or not you're going to be in that union. That is a true free choice act. That's a true free choice act. They have the right to choose whether or not they want to be in a union, and no longer by law can they be forced at the state or the local level to have those union dues taken out of their paychecks. That's what this is all about.
Ladies and gentlemen, our General Counsel and dear friend, Mr. Bob Chanin.
Why, you may ask, is this so? Why are these conservative and right-wing bastards picking on NEA and its affiliates? I will tell you why. It is the price we pay for success. NEA and its affiliates have been singled out because they are the most effective unions in the United States. And they are the nation's leading advocates for public education and the type of liberal social and economic agenda that these groups find unacceptable.
Now, many project that there'll be as much as $70 million or more spent on the recall election against me come this next late spring or summer. That's what's at stake here, because you see, the big government union bosses understand this isn't just about who the governor of Wisconsin is. And it's not even just about what the momentum or impact will be on the November 2012 elections will be. Certainly those are factors. More importantly, they understand there's something bigger at stake here. What's at stake in this election is fundamentally about courage. You see, I'm an optimist, so I believe with your help and the help of others like you around my state and around this country, I believe we will prevail. And when we do, it won't just be about electing again a governor in the state of Wisconsin. It'll be about sending a message not only in Madison and my state house, it'll be about sending a message in Springfield, in St. Paul, in Columbus, in Indianapolis, in Austin, and in the halls of Congress right down the way in our nation's capital.
What NEA said and did began to matter. And the more we said and did, the more we pissed people off. And in turn, the more enemies we made.
When we prevail, it will send a powerful message to every politician in America that if you stand up and do the right thing, if you tackle the tough challenges, if you make the tough choices, there will be men and women in every state and every part of this country who will stand up shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm with you and say, yes, we will support you if you do what is right and courageous. This is that time.
And that brings me to my final and most important point, which is why, at least in my opinion, NEA and its affiliates are such effective advocates. Despite what some among us would like to believe, it is not because of our creative ideas. It is not because of the merit of our positions. It is not because we care about children, and it is not because we have a vision of a great public school for every child. NEA and its affiliates are effective advocates because we have power. And we have power because there are more than 3.2 million people who are willing to pay us hundreds of millions of dollars in dues each year because they believe that we are the unions that can most effectively represent them, the unions that can protect their rights and advance their interests as education employees.
The choice could not be clearer. In Wisconsin, we can either go back to the days of double-digit tax increases, of billion-dollar budget deficits, and of record job loss, or we can choose to move our state forward and seek further prosperity. I choose to go forward.
Despite what some among us would like to believe, it is not because of our creative ideas. It is not because of the merit of our positions. It is not because we care about children, and it is not because we have a vision of a great public school for every child. NEA and its affiliates are effective advocates because we have power. And we have power because there are more than 3.2 million people who are willing to pay us hundreds of millions of dollars in dues each year because they believe that we are the unions that can most effectively represent them.